Good evening. All right. Thanks for being here. Welcome to St. Paul's and our ice cream social. First off, if you would help me give a hand and say thank you to all our workers this evening for making this evening really nice. Thank you to all you for being here, coming to eat our cake and ice cream. It's good to have you. But the free will donations, let me say a word about that. Our donations this year, we're dividing between Warrensburg Veterans Home and Show Me Honor Flight. So thank you for your donations, and if that encourages you to share a little more, that's where our donations are going towards. So your regular MCs, your regular ice cream social MCs have the night off, and apparently so do the other 5 that were asked before me. So I'm happy to be here with you. If you don't know me, I'm Pastor Stephen. I'm the pastor here at St. Paul's. And believe it or not, it was 2 years ago this weekend that I began here at St. Paul's. Can you believe that? And I have learned a whole lot over these 2 years. I've had a lot of good experiences over these past 2 years. For example, and I've learned a lot from it. That's the important thing, right? You learn from your experiences, right? Yes. So I have to tell you about one of the experiences that I had. I did a visit early on when I arrived here. And I went and I sat down in this woman's living room, and we got to talking, and I saw she had a bowl of peanuts on her table. And, I reached over and I had a few, and we continued to talk, and I continued to reach in and eat a few of the peanuts that were in the bowl. And we apparently talked for a long time, because at one point I reached over and the bowl was empty. I ate all of them. And so when we finished talking, I said, "This has been really great, but I have to apologize because I ate all of your peanuts." And she said, "Oh, that's okay. Ever since I got my new dentures, I just can only suck the chocolate off of them." It makes for a good memory, right? These are all good memories. And everything that happens here, it makes good memories. And one of the things I enjoy about being the pastor here is that I get to talk to people about God, right? And so I got to talk to this young woman, and I can't remember what color her hair was, but that's not important, or maybe it is. And she was telling me about her prayer life. And she was saying, this pastor gig is awesome. She was telling me that she had hit some rough times. And so she said that she was praying. And she said, "I prayed, God, if you would just help me win the lottery, I could get through this rough time. And if you would, if you would do that for me, I'd give 10% to the church." So that's what she prayed. That's what she told me. She said the next day the paper came out. She looked at the lottery numbers and she didn't win. So she said that day when she didn't win, she prayed again. "God, I could really use this extra money. And if you'll let me win it, I'll give 20% to the church." Okay, so the next day she said she waited and the paper came out and she looked at the numbers and she still didn't win. So she said, "The next day I prayed again. And I said, God, I really, really need this help. If you help me win even just a little bit in the lottery, I will give 50% to the church." And I said, "Well, that's very kind of you. What happened?" And she said, "God spoke to me." I said, "Really? What did God say?" This voice rang out and God said, "Will you please throw me a bone and buy a lottery ticket?" The other thing I like about this gig is the kids, right? I love talking with the kids. I love talking to the kids, and one of the great things that I get to do is children's sermons, and I get to sit down with them and talk about God and talk about the church and things like that. And I remember one time we were sitting there talking, and we were talking about how we address God. And I said, "So what are some names that you have for God?" And the first kid said, "Father." I said, "Well, that's great." And the next kid said, "Creator." Even better, that's wonderful. And the third kid said, "Omnipotent." Our kids are smart. I said, oh, okay, that's wonderful. And I looked at the little boy in the corner and I said, well, what do you call God? And he said, I call God Andy. Well, why do you call God Andy? Well, because my grandmother always sings, Andy walks with me, Andy talks with me, Andy tells me I'm his own. We hope you have a good evening here with us. We're getting the entertainment started. As we do, please continue to go fill your plates, fill your stomachs with some food. First up, we'd like to invite the St. Paul's Choir to share a few songs.
So we'll keep the songs a-comin'